For those of you who don't know, my name is Melissa Gingrasso, and I'm your 2023 President of Eastern Connecticut Association of Realtors. I now call this meeting to order. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you for showing an interest in today's program. We are thankful for our membership committee and our ECAR staff for putting together today's program. It falls right in line with the NAR President, Kenny Parcells, and what he believes in strongly of riding with the brand. Our ECAR mission supporting its members and their real estate profession. Our unique strategic plan outlining ECAR as your resource center and providing all the tools that we can provide for you as you grow your career to the membership. At this time, I would like to call Samantha Story to the podium for the salute and invocation.
Good morning, everyone. Dear Lord, please give me one more real estate boom, and I promise I won't blow it this time. Amen. I am sure that many of you have said this to yourself, even if in different words. But instead of waiting around for another boom in the marketplace, take this time to recognize the opportunities that are in front of us every day to optimize success. There is always a boom if you know how to look for it. People will always fall in love, grow their families, change careers, and go through other life changes that warrant the need to sell their homes. Create your own real estate boom by connecting with others, reaching out to past clients, updating your real estate reviews, sending written notes, and listening to podcasts from top experts in the real estate industry. Commit to showing up for business and follow through. Consistency is the key. As I look around the room right now, I see professionals who are committed to not waiting around, and your boom is here today. Get out there and make it happen. Please stand for the national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha. At this time, I would like to bring to your attention something that's going on in our industry right here in our local market, as well as Rhode Island. There's a scam alert going on, and I think it's important that you all know what is going on. There's some cases in Rhode Island and right here in our backyard in Connecticut. There's a few things that you can do to safeguard yourselves and your clients. We are having fake sellers pose as sellers. They're going out there, they're very smart. They are putting ads on forsalebywowner.com as the seller. They are taking out emails in the true seller's name. They are signing documents digitally. They are having their friends be the notary, and they are taking our clients' money. We do need to be aware, and we need to safeguard our clients. A couple ways that we can do this is by asking for government-issued IDs when we're getting digital signatures, working with attorneys that are local attorneys and having them choose the notary if they're having somebody meet in a place that is not local. So Those are a couple things that you can do to safeguard yourself. There is a FBI site where if you believe this is happening, it is on our eCar update page where you can report it. If anybody has any questions about this, I would be happy to go over it with anyone as well, but it is something I just wanted to bring to your attention. Are we good to bring Kevin?
Yeah, we could go.
All right, so in just a minute, we're going to bring Kevin Sears on. He is our 2023 first Vice President of NAR. He's from Springfield, Mass., and he's a broker and partner with Sears Real Estate. Kevin will be providing an NAR update and legal and current issues. He's also a firm believer in RPAC, and I believe he's been inducted into the RPAC Hall of Fame at least twice. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you very much. How are you?
We are great, thank you.
All right. Good morning, Eastern Connecticut Association of Realtors. How are you doing?
Very good.
All right. I can see there's a camera. I can see all of you. Great. So thank you for the opportunity to be with you this morning. It's an honor. As you may or may not know, I'm also a Connecticut Realtor, even though I'm from Springfield, Massachusetts. I've got my brother and I were partners, and we have a small brokerage in Springfield, and we're also licensed brokers in Connecticut. So I'm happy to be a Connecticut broker and Connecticut Realtor, just like you. Talk about the Riding with an initiative for our 2023 president, Kenny Parcell, which I absolutely love. Give you a little advocacy update, and then I've also been asked to give a legal update. And when it comes to the legal update, what I need you to understand is that I'm going to read to you what I've been provided by NAR, by our legal counsel, because I'll just ask a question and we can do a raise of hands. Who wants to be deposed in a court case? Just raise your hands if you want to be deposed. Okay, I see no hands going up. So I don't want to either, so I'm going to read exactly what is provided. So bear with me while I do that. With regards to 2023, I'm very excited about where we are at and where we're going. The Riding with the Brand concept that Kenny Parcell came up with, it's a powerful thing. Brand is a powerful thing. Think about it. Each of us are in business. We have our own brand. But when it comes to the Realtor brand, it is something that is much bigger than any individual one of us. What you have to remember is what we do on a daily basis is noble. It is good. We help build communities. We help the American dream, people achieve the American dream. And what we do is protect and advise consumers through one of their most difficult financial transactions they'll have in their lives. So just remember that. What we do is noble and good. What we have to do, though, is we have to do a better job telling our story. And I think this Riding with the Brand tour that Kenny Parcell has set up will help with that, because the brand is bigger than any one individual in us. It's not any one of us, it is all of us together. And when I think about what the brand means, I think about a story that I have from a few years back. My oldest nephew, he was between the age of 11 and 12. You know how boys can be when they get to that age. They think they know everything. And they think they can do anything, and sometimes they can, but most of the times they can't. But one of the things is here in Springfield, where I'm from, on my father's side of the family, my kids and my nieces and nephews are fourth generation in the city of Springfield, and on my mother's side, they're sixth generation. So even though it's a city, we've been around a long time. We know everybody. Everybody knows us. And so my nephew was feeling his oats a little bit, misbehaving, and some school teacher friends of mine were telling me some of his antics. And so I grabbed him and I pulled him aside, and I just asked him, I said, Nick, I said, what is your name? He said, Nick Sears. And I said, no, what is your name? And I asked him a couple of times. He gave the same answer. I said, Nick is the name that your parents gave to you. That is your name. Sears, that is Grandma and Grandpa's name. What you need to understand is everything that you do, all people see are Grandma and Grandpa. And so for me, when it comes to talking about the brand, I just think about that story with my nephew from over 10 years ago, when he was doing this. And so we represent the brand. You notice it says riding with the brand, not riding for the brand. Where Kenny came up with this, he likes to think of himself as a modern day cowboy. He doesn't ride horses, but he does have a motorcycle. But back in the old days, a cowboy would sign on with a ranch and they would ride for the brand. But Kenny wanted this to be cumulative and together. So we're riding with the brand here. And I know that the Riding with the Brand tour will be coming to Hartford on May 15th. So right after the Realtors legislative meetings or mid-year meetings, the bus will be in Hartford. And so I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to be there with my fellow Connecticut Realtors, but just keep your eyes and ears open for that. And then one other thing I'll tell you, as I said, Kenny likes riding motorcycles. There is actually something that's happening with the Riding with the Brand that will benefit the Realtors Relief Foundation. And there's a Harley Davidson that will be raffled off. You can buy up to 3 tickets at $50 a pop. So when you see the motorcycle, if the motorcycle is there, you can scan the QR code. You have to do it 3 individual times and do it $50 each. And you have the opportunity to win this motorcycle. The benefit of the tickets goes to the Realtor Relief Foundation. The motorcycle was donated by our Second Century Ventures, which is a wholly owned a for-profit subsidiary of the National Association of Realtors. So it costs no dues dollars in order to get this motorcycle. So it will all go to the Realtor Relief Foundation. And maybe if I have time, I'll touch on the Second Century Ventures. That's a wonderful asset for our association. But what's new in the advocacy realm? In February, hopefully you all saw the FHA announced a reduction by 30 basis points, the mortgage insurance premium, which will save the average American $800. In high cost areas, it could be $1,200. So the Northeast is considered a high cost area. So we can see some of our customers and clients saving some real money because of the reduction in the mortgage insurance premium. And that's something that we've advocated for years. Also in February, the House of Representatives passed the Secure Notarization Act of 2023, House Resolution 1059. That was passed overwhelmingly. And I think one of the things, always look for the silver lining of things, right? One of the things, the silver linings that I saw in COVID is the fact that people realized we can continue to operate through a virtual world and providing, and the technology is out there. Many of us were forced to have to adopt this technology because of the laws in the states with regards to gathering. But so this would just codify what we were able to do during the pandemic. And so we were thrilled by the passage of that by the House of Representatives. NAR continues to fight for housing supply and affordability. When you see the Riding with the Brand bus, on the side of it, of course, it says, that's who we are, because that is our advertising theme for the year. But it talks about riding with the brands, and there are 3 A's: affordability, accessibility, and availability. And so NAR is really focusing on the 3 A's. And there's some stuff we can do at the federal level, but there's other stuff that needs to be done at the local and state level. And so what you need to understand is that the National Association has grants available for you, whether it's at the local or state level, to be able to help with zoning reforms or tax incentives to spur investments. What we need to do is make it easier for people to invest in construction and conversion to residential real estate. Last week, Lawrence Yun at the President's Circle Conference showed some slides. And what he is saying is right now, let me give you a statistic. We have 1.6 million realtors across the country, not including non-realtor licensees, which could be about another million. We have less than 1 million listings in our MLSs across the country. So we don't even have 1 listing per member. In 2007, we had over 4 million listings at that time. So think about the discrepancy. But what he's saying is that we have underbuilt by about 5 million units in the past 15 years since the beginning of the Great Recession. It makes me think about being at a leadership summit in 2013 for Steve Brown, incoming president of NAR. He asked the question, when's the best time to plant a tree? Okay, I can't hear you. This isn't interactive. The answer is 30 years ago. When's the second best time? Today. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to go to our elected officials, our regulators, and say, we cannot build our way out of it today, but we have to set the foundation so that we can build our way out of it in the coming years. So the National Association of Realtors has resources. We're also supporting proposed federal legislation to offer tax credits to attract private investment for building and rehabilitating owner-occupied homes, improve the way that the low-income housing tax credit works, double the capital gains exclusion for sales of principal residences, and index that for the future. There's currently a marriage penalty on that. And something else that we floated out there when we talk about the shortage of inventory is, can we incentivize landlords, rental property owners, to sell some of their units to first-time home buyers, and they can receive a reduction in the capital gains tax. We're open for all different sorts of ideas. So just put your thinking caps on. If you come up with something even better than that, then please just let your president, Melissa, know. You can let Susie know. They both know how to get a hold of me, but you can also pass the word up to David, your state president, and Cindy Butts, because we're all a team on this. Okay, so now let's talk about, before I get to the legal update, there is one last thing. We're also continuing to work with industry partners on expanding home ownership to more Americans, such as supporting the Black Home Ownership Collaborative's 3x30 plan, in which they're looking to add 3 million net new Black homeowners by 2030. Something that I think you've probably seen in the studies is the gap has widened between Black and white home ownership, and it was especially exacerbated during COVID. So that is something that we are all in for, expanding home ownership opportunities, especially in the Black community and any other minority community that is looking to do that. Okay, so now let me pull up the legal proceedings overview. Hold on one second. It's a lot of talking. Okay, so first, know that the leadership, entire NAR team, takes each of these cases and legal development very seriously. We have teams actively engaged to defend NAR and our members every day. Second, if there's one thing you should take away from this conversation, it's that regardless of intervening legal decisions and associated speculation, our legal experts are confident we ultimately will prevail in each case, because at the core, we always act in the best interest of consumers, and claims against us are without merit. Now, I'll add in my editorial comment here, and then I'll get back to reading. When I talked about riding with the brand, the other thing is we need to do a better job telling our stories. If we can do a better job telling our stories and explaining the value that we bring to the transaction, some of these lawsuits may have been avoided. But what we have to think about is, when we win, we need to do this so that we can avoid any future lawsuits. Tracy Casper, our 2023 president-elect at the National Association of Realtors, she talks about in her transaction folder, they have a checklist of over 180 items on the checklist. It's not just click, see, offer, sign, sell. It's not just 5 items, and we need to do a better job letting consumers, customers, clients, regulators, elected officials, the media know what we bring to the table. The other thing I'll tell you is that in these lawsuits, they're looking at other countries saying, hey, they do it this way in other countries. What you need to know is that all other countries look to the US. We are the envy of the world. The way that we have consumer protection set up, the way that we have buyer representation, seller representation set up, it's not buyer beware. Colin Milan, who's our 2023 Realtor Party Director, he's a new U.S. citizen. He emigrated from Ireland, and he has a story about what it took for his parents to sell their house a few years ago. So if you get the opportunity to talk to Colin or talk to somebody that is involved in foreign transactions, you'll understand how good we have it. Can we do things better? Absolutely. But, we don't want to regress and lose representation. Okay, now I'll get back to the talking points. So 4 years ago, NAR and 4 corporate defendants were sued in class action lawsuits filed in Missouri and Illinois, alleging homeowners have been damaged because their listing broker compensates the buyer's representative. The lawsuits allege that various NAR rules and other members' adherence to those rules have led to artificially fixed and inflated commissions being paid to real estate professionals. In September, class action attorneys in the Burnett case in Missouri began notifying the class members of their legal rights and ability to opt out of the case. This is typical in class action cases, but in no way reflects the actual or perceived merits of the claims nor the facts of the case. The pro-competitive, pro-consumer, local MLS broker marketplaces serve the best interest of buyers and sellers. Sellers making offers of compensation to buyers brokers gives first-time, low and middle income and all home buyers a better shot at affording a home and professional representation. And as you know, it's the free market that organically establishes commission costs within local real estate markets based on service, consumer preference, and what the market can bear. It's expected to be a lengthy process before the cases can be fully resolved. In April 2022, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals reversed the lower court's decision to dismiss a lawsuit that challenged the clear cooperation policy. Another similar lawsuit is also working through the appeal process. This too only addresses a procedural issue in the litigation. It does not address the merits of the underlying challenge. While we were disappointed in the decision, we will continue to defend against the lawsuit as we firmly believe the clear cooperation policy advances equal opportunity in housing by ensuring listings are widely available and accessible to all. Without the protections from the clear cooperation policy, consumers would be disadvantaged because agents could refuse to give them or their agents access to those listings. Okay, now some good news. We have some good news to share about the Department of Justice. In January, a district court issued an order granting NAR's petition to end the DOJ investigation of NAR, including their investigation of the MLS participation rule and clear cooperation policy. As you may recall, we reached a settlement with the DOJ in 2020, which they tried to back out of in 2021. While this does not preclude the DOJ from investigating NAR in the future, the DOJ has the option to appeal this decision if desired. This is a clear victory for NAR, and we are delighted the DOJ is bound to honor its agreement. As part of the commitment to act in the best interest of home buyers and sellers across this country, NAR remains dedicated to advancing independent local real estate marketplaces that provide a greater economic opportunity and equity for small businesses and consumers of all backgrounds and financial means. Finally, there's nothing new to report in the Rex case. Discovery continues to proceed, and we remain confident we will ultimately prevail because local MLS broker marketplaces are the source of the most accurate, reliable property information for brokers to access for consumers. So with all that said, I will just, so I'm done with the reading. I'll go back to the DOJ. I think one of the most important things why this was widely cheered amongst all different sorts of groups and sectors was we had a written agreement with the government, and the government was unprecedented. They had never tried to back out of an agreement like this before. And so the fact that we brought them to court and the court agreed, nope, we're going to hold you like any other private party. You signed an agreement, you signed a contract, we're going to hold you to it. That was very good for us. And so that's what I have for you on the legal update. I know that in 2023, your President Melissa has a theme of ECAR, your resource center. Just know that not only Eastern Connecticut Association of Realtors, Connecticut Realtors, and the National Association of Realtors, we are all a resource for you. There are lots of programs available for you at the National Association of Realtors. If you go to nar.realtor, you can type in whether it's grants for community engagement, whether it's financial wellness, realtor safety. There's all different sorts of things that you can get. Competition.realtor is a great site to go to. We just talked about the lawsuits where you can be given the FAQs and tools to be able to better tell the story about how while we might be friendly with each other, we're competitors, and we're in a very competitive marketplace, and how we benefit the consumer through everything we do. So with all of that said, I think I'm up on my 15 minutes. I don't know if we're doing question and answer or not, or if I'm just saying thank you. I'll wait to hear what somebody says into the microphone for me.
I'm checking to see if we have any questions for you, Kevin.
Great.
Oh, we do have a question from Ron.
Well, I'm not sure if it's a question or a statement, but first of all, if anybody knows me, I come from a very large family, and I have a number of people that would be, although they're much like me, it would be identified as Black. I think it's a great thing to expand, ownership for minorities, but we need to be very, very careful that it's not at the expense of the individual being qualified. The last, not this past downturn, the last downturn was in a large part was because of the Community Reinvestment Act and getting people into homes that weren't qualified. And I think you need to be very, very, very careful when you do it. I think it's important to get people educated and really qualified.
So I think I caught most of what you said, Ron. And what I'll say is I agree with you 100%. What I would point to right now is the foreclosure rate. Lawrence Yun last week, when I saw him, also spoke about that. And I think with the protections that were put in place because of the Great Recession, with all of the banking regulations that were put in place, I think the protections are in place to make sure that it's qualified borrowers that are able to purchase the homes. Do people slip through the cracks? Of course. But no, I appreciate what you have to say, because that's the last thing we want to see happen is someone get back in to the home ownership opportunity and have it taken away because at the end of the day, they can't afford it. So that doesn't help them. That doesn't help the community. So I appreciate what you had to say.
Thank you very much, Kevin, for your time.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you in May in DC, and then hopefully again in Hartford. Take care.